You're going to do this wonderful concert in that location. Okay. That is the night of the 23rd. The day of the 24th, we're going to get up fairly early, and we're going to be in Florence. You're going to have to leave Florence. And I'm going to tell you the logistics of that a little bit. Now, I don't know if you all realize how privileged you are when you're all married and have kids. You can say, I played in the Loggia of the Lanzi in Piazza Signoria when I was a kid. It is an honor. No other youth orchestra is going to be playing there. You guys were picked. We sent that out. Yeah, it's quite an honor. And they've got some great youth orchestras there. There's one that Maestro knows from Germany that's fantastic. They've got 50, 60 kids involved with it. And they're going to be playing over there. Concerts are usually held in churches that are adapted for acoustics and the ambiance for these type of concerts. But when I insisted and got one of the records over to them, and they heard you and they loved you, so they were allowing you to play in the Loggia of the Lanzi. You know that picture, that postcard that you send around? Mm-hmm. That's it. In in the foreground with the scallop roof. It's in the open, and it's part of the Uffizi galleries. Now these are my instructions that they gave me, and I'm passing them on to you. When we get there, your instruments are going to have to be locked up in one of the rooms that is actually part of the Uffizi. So we don't have ready access to it. Once we put our stuff there, the next time we're going to open up to use it is at 7 o'clock when it's open for rehearsal or whatever until 9. So they told me that because it is part of the Uffizi and it's a storage area and your place to get ready, they wanted me to be sure that it's left and not trashed, or I don't mean trashed, but you cannot leave litter and so forth and so on. I asked if they were going to have water available. They don't have water available, so I make sure that during the course of the day I get some waters and have the water there for you guys to have. Now that brings us to the logistics of instruments, because Florence is your toughest stop for the concert. Piazza Signoria is right in the middle of the historic center. Cars are really not allowed. Maybe a taxi or two, but never buses. So there is a spot where they transfer us from Montecatini in the morning to, it's called Florence Sud, and it's a parking lot on the southern entrance to the city. It's about a 10-15 minute walk to city center to the Piazza Signoria. So I'm still trying to work it out the best. In order to save you from having to carry more stuff with you when you're traveling, we've rented the music stands. Now the detail for that is, how do I get the music stands to the Piazza Signoria, since they're on the bus and so forth and so on. So that's something else I have to work out. You don't have to bother you with that, but I might have to rent a cab, put that stuff in there. And there's who's the bass player?
His mom is here.
The bass is going to be, I sent you the information from the actual gentleman that owns it. He's going to bring it himself there. I'm going to have to pay him directly to him there. And then that bass will go with us. And then it's left off in Perugia with the people that represent FOG, and they will take that and the stands, the music stands, back to Florence. So we don't have to worry about the logistics of it. We will have it with us on the bus starting from the night in Florence, well actually Montecatini, and then we'll have it in Florence, and then we'll have it in so forth and so on. So I have that to work out, how to get the equipment. Are you guys up to a 10-minute walk to the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a 10-minute walk.
Then we'll find that gelato along the way. We're not measuring it.
I'm gonna tell you.
What's the
Lactose lactose intolerant or not, when you see ice cream over there, you'll never have gelato as good as you do.
Bring lactate.
But they do have fruit
Bring the
flavored,
lactate.
they do have ices like that are.
Yeah,
and,
shaved ices,
Yes,
yeah.
they have all kinds of fruit ice. And I'll give you a
I'll
little
have real
hint,
Italian ice.
when you buy an ice cream flavor, even if it's a small cone with 2 dips, you don't have to buy one flavor. You can say, I want a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Up to 3 flavors, they allow you to do it, so you get a taste of everything. Then I'll tell you what's the good flavors when I see them. So anyway, so now we've got this walk. Is there any problems with that with anybody? Okay.
No.
Now, it's not bad. The violins, do you carry them like this? The cellos, what about the cellos? You just strap them to your back? Backpack.
Where's the cellos? Is that a hard for you?
Listen,
You guys, the cellos are too big. I'm sure we could trade instruments at one point and then you guys
Yeah,
don't have to carry them.
I just wanted you to be aware of the little
Megan's is a backpack.
contrademptions that are going to be happening so that you're prepared and it doesn't take us by surprise. So now there's another little thing if you're up to it. So I have to figure out when, because the monkey wrench got thrown at me when they said we couldn't access our equipment anytime we wanted before 7 o'clock. So do you plan to have any kind of a little rehearsal or just a little warm-up probably?
That's all.
That's it.
I don't work here.
They're gonna, all right. So we're gonna go to
Specify-
dinner.
They're gonna specify me, right?
We're gonna go to
No,
dinner
just
at
to-
6
Just
o'clock.
a moment to understand the acoustic when we're
Yeah.
playing. That's
All
it.
right, we're going to have dinner at 6 o'clock. And that will give us enough time to get to the loggia by 7. They want to do a flash, a music flash.
Yay!
Game?
Flash mob.
Flash mob.
Flash mob.
I felt like a music flash would be like we all open our instruments. No, like our music instruments.
And that will either
Shock people.
that will either take place. I'm trying to decide what's closest. Probably Ponte Vecchio or Piazza Unitas would be great. But, Piazza della Repubblica, which is not too far from there, with other people there, that would be great. I talked to David this morning. He said to say hello to you. And Bocca Lupo, as they say, right? Break away.
Oh, Rigaci. Rigaci, okay.
He's going to try to come and see us. And that night he's in a concert in Florence. And he wanted to come and just say,
Oh my gosh.
But he can't. But during the day, he's going to try, and maybe he's going to try to come to Lucca with us the next day. So we'll see. Well, he really loved you guys, and he's hoping when he comes in October that we can do it again. But we'll see.
Oh boy.
So anyway, so now we've got the flash. We're all on for that. That will be fun. And there's a little bit of logistics because I have to time it so it's just before. But then we're eating at 6. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. Maybe we'll do it when we arrive, since we already have the instruments, and not have that might work. And then we can lock them up and then have the sightseeing. So during the course of the day, after we get the flash and all the stuff out of the way, we're going to go to the academy and see the David. We're going to have a guided tour of the city, the highlights of it, so you'll get to see Florence a little bit. So that takes care of the day. Then 7 o'clock you go to warm up, and then there's the concert. 11 o'clock we head back to Montecatini. The next morning, maybe I'll give you a break, maybe 9:30. Okay, we will get up, and the bus will be waiting for us, and we're going to proceed on to Pisa and to Lucca. Okay, and Pisa we're going to see the real thing, the Leaning Tower and the Beautiful Street and all that. And you can take that famous picture when you're doing this, it's like you're holding it up. And then we're going to go on to Lucca. Lucca is a fascinating, I love Lucca. It's a walled medieval town. It's the only town that all the walls are intact. People actually ride bikes up there. It's like a park. And then the inside of the town city center is where the historic areas are. It's so lovely. We have a walking guide of that. We get to see that. And I'll take you to a place for lunch where they have a farinata, which is a ibanelli, but they do them in the oven. They do them like pizza. They're great. We'll have a nice little lunch there. And then we will go to see the house of Puccini's house. So you'll get that musical inspiration of the masters there. So, and then we go back to Montecatini. I hope to have a little time that night to walk around a little bit in Montecatini, maybe take you up the, there's the funicular, which is next to one of the baths, that takes you up to the old town, and then the view from up there is fantastic. But we'll see how much time is available after dinner, and we might do that. So now you're going to get into bed and get up the next morning, okay? The next morning is when we leave for Perugia. Perugia is the capital of that province. It is one of the major Etruscan cities when Italy in that part of the world was Etruscan run. You know, the Etruscans were the earlier inhabitants before the Romans. And it was really a wonderful sight. It's a great town. I hope we have enough time to see a little bit of it, but we certainly will see a lot of it. It is the only city that is really, you've heard the Guelph and the Gilbertini. There were two parties during the Middle Ages. That was the Romeo and Juliet story. One was a Guelph and one was a Gilbertine, and they're like, the two shall never mix. And the Guelphs were the people that were following the papacy. They were, because at that, sorry, I'm not going to take that. I'm sorry, I don't know how, I just got this phone, I don't know how to do anything with it, other than turn it upside down. Shut up. Shut up. I'm afraid to touch it because I'll lose the message, so let me just, so the Guelphs, this is the town of the Guelphs, and you could see it was a big stronghold of the popes during that period, where there was, the popes in that period were actually a temporal power. They were just not only a religious power, but they also had armies and they conquered, and they had wars, and they took cities and so forth and so on. And the Gilbertines were the people that followed the Roman Empire, you know, the Roman emperors. And so this is one of the cities that, and the reason I tell you this is because when you're there, you'll see the beautiful buildings that are both, the cathedrals show the might and the power and the beauty and the art of the Guelphs, and the Palazzo Priori is also a wonderful example of Middle Age architecture that showed the power of the Roman Empire, okay? Now, it is also known, Perugia, for many things, among which is the biggest university town in Italy. The biggest university of Italy is based in Perugia, and it's got the biggest college for Italian studies, foreign Italian studies. It has the largest foreign study university in Italy is in Perugia. So you'll see a lot of kids around this fountain, which is the main square, and it's a very famous spot, and there's steps, and it's always full of teenagers and college-age kids. It's quite a young town for that respect. So you're going to enjoy Perugia, but the best thing that Perugia is known for is its chocolate. And guess what the name of our hotel is? The Choco Hotel. It is based all on chocolate. So,
Wait, this is.
So I'm sure there'll be some chocolate laying around in this hotel. And in the fall, when you're all adults and traveling Europe,
Yeah, get the
try to
chocolate
be in
away from her
Perugia
now.
in the fall, because they have a chocolate fest. It's free chocolate for like a week, you know. So anyway, so that will be our stay in Perugia. Speaking of chocolate.
Yeah.
But where do you taste
No, thank you.
the Italian chocolate? No offense, but the fettuccine is wonderful. So anyway, so we're going to be doing that during the day, and then at night we're going to stop and have dinner in the hotel, at the Choco Hotel, And then we're gonna be brought over to the church where we're gonna have the concert again at 9 o'clock. So that will be your last concert, will be in Perugia. Now you've had 3 concerts, you've done a little sightseeing, it's gonna be a lovely, lovely trip.
Signora, scusami, just a question. Do you know something in regards to the concert that we have in Perugia there? What is Santa Giuliana?
Georgiana.
Giuliana or Giuliana?
Giuliana,
Santa
excuse me,
Giuliana.
it's right here.
What is it? It's
It's a basilica.
La Basilica.
Yes, and it's got a cloister, it's very lovely, it's where they have all the,
Okay.
we'll be met by a representative FOG here, so we'll know exactly what to do, where to go, and so forth. And
That is not the same location where they hold every year the Umbria Jazz.
no.
No.
Umbria Jazz is basically, it's not in Perugia itself, it's in, I got over there last year, Spoleto. Spoleto is where the jazz is. Although you'll hear jazz, jazz is one of the biggest forms of music in Italy. Absolutely, but that's in Spoleto. But that is what it's also known for. The chocolate and the festival in July is going on right now, the jazz festival in Spoleto. In Spoleto. So anyway, so that is our last day there. The next morning we get up and we start to ride down to Rome. To get to Rome, we're going to get checked into our hotel, and we are going to not have much time that day because it's basically a travel day. I know where your hotel, by the way, is for the moms and the people that are left here because there's a lot of stuff going on in Europe right now, and you always want to know the safety factor. We are staying right at Montecitorio. Montecitorio is the square where the seat of government is. Right across, when you look out the window from the hotel is here, and right across the way is the Senate House. Montecitorio is right there. You'll see, hopefully I'll get some of these guys that I see on TV all the time, all these senators are doing nothing, but they're gonna be doing more nothing.
Yes.
So anyway.
They're waiting downstairs to get to the check.
But why is that so important? Because it is guarded night and day. It's the safest place you ever want to be in Rome is on this square, and that's where we're staying. But what makes it lovely too is that we're here, the square is here, you go up the street to the right, and you're at the Spanish Steps. You go in this direction, to the left, and a little bit to the east, to the west, and you're at the Trevi Fountain. Oh, by the way, I think the Trevi Fountain is undergoing a 2-year restoration. So you're not going to see it in its full glory. You're going to see with a lot of scaffolding, a lot of work going on. And it's, first time I saw it, it shocked me. It's smack up against a wall. I didn't realize it was part of the building. It's part of the building. And then there's this beautiful fountain with all the beautiful sculpture, and it's being repaired. But we'll get to see it. You'll see past the scaffolding. Yes, honey?
Are we going to see the Colosseum at all?
Of course, we're going to go in it. Yes. And so anyway, so we get to see that, and then Piazza Navona, the living room of Rome, the beautiful fountains to the continents is there by Bernini, and it's just you're going to see all that with the guide, and then the next day we're going to go to the Vatican to see the Sistine Chapel, and we're going to go to and then we're going to go to the Colosseum and go inside the Colosseum. Yes, honey?
I have a funny story about, one of my first to school brought a group of my classmates and maybe younger kids to Rome, and they were at the Vatican, and I think they might have been announced, I think, and then it was quiet. The Pope was out, and all of a sudden, very loud sneeze from one of my classmates, and the Pope was like,
He recognized the sneeze.
He did.
He recognized the sneeze.
He blessed the
He
sneeze.
did.
Bless you, actually. If you get a bless you from the Pope, I think you're
Do you know what
forever.
day? Do you know what day we're? Do you know what
All
day the
Yeah.
27th? It's not a Wednesday. The 27th and 28th. Do you know what day goes on? Because the Pope gives an audience on every Wednesday.
Ah.
He gives a general audience. But anyway, it is a thrill, and you know, and our hotel is in such an area where I think, you know, I trying to have us
The
have a dinner.
27th is a Sunday.
Sunday.
We won't be able to,
Domenica.
but it's okay. This Pope is so popular that the Rome and the Vatican, if you don't get tickets way ahead of time, it's crazy right now. So we're gonna go to Trastevere. One night I'm gonna have dinner for us in Trastevere, which is on the side that the Vatican's on. And it's like very bohemian. It's like being in New York on the Greenwich Village type of atmosphere. So we're gonna have dinner there one night, and then another place for another night, on our first arrival night. So basically, that's it, and then the next day, we get picked up from after breakfast, we get transported to the airport, and it's arrivederci Roma, okay? So, any questions about the trip?
Unless
and
you find the
anything?
pianist right there, you can stay.